Party people, it's time for another edition of
Year of the Max
with Godzilla vs. Kong. Well, this movie was ridiculous and awesome. What up, guys? Bobo here with BrassReel Brothers. Thanks for coming back for some more popcorn. So the long-awaited Godzilla vs. Kong came out. And right in the beginning, I have to say, it was wacky and off the wall and pretty fun. But I didn't go into this movie expecting a whole lot of actual depth and quality of a film after the last one, King of the Monsters. But I still enjoyed it. The plotline was terrible and stupid and ridiculous, just like the last one. But in reality, if you think about it, back in the day when you were watching Godzilla movies and King Kong movies and stuff like that, you weren't really watching them for plot. You were just watching them for destruction. Watching them crash buildings left and right, beat each other up to a pulp. I mean, that's really the whole point behind these movies. So to really expect anything more than just monsters fighting each other, I think it's kind of expecting too much. Did they have to go the whole uber sci-fi route that I'll talk about here in a minute? No, they didn't have to do that. But all in all, when you're seeing the monsters fight in the movie, it's a lot of fun, and it's really well done. Now, when the first Godzilla came out almost 10 years ago or something like that, with Bryan Cranston, Aaron Taylor Johnson, and Elizabeth Olsen, that, in my opinion, was a badass version of Godzilla, like an updated modern American version. I really thought they did a good job with it. I love the darkness of it when you saw Godzilla and the other monsters fighting all out in the water and stuff like that. I thought it was a really nice approach to monster movies that kind of made it believable. Had a little touch of Cloverfield in there, the first Cloverfield. So when they announced King of the Monsters was coming out, I was like, man, I'm really excited to see what they're going to do with this Godzilla movie. Now he's going to be fighting monsters in this universe we've opened up now. Well, it was nothing like the first Godzilla with Bryan Cranston. It was a straight popcorn money grab, and it went back to sort of the roots of what Godzilla movies were back in the day, which I can appreciate that. I was very impressed with what they did with the Bryan Cranston movie, and I kind of wish they would have kept that tone. Warner Brothers, again, doing the same thing they did with the Zack Snyder verse when they did Justice League after Batman vs. Superman. Just popcorned it up and brightened it up. But for the Godzilla franchise, I think it kind of works, because that's what you're going to see the movie for. If anything, I don't enjoy the human plot at all. I really just want to see the monsters. While I thought the Godzilla with Bryan Cranston worked with those characters, I didn't think they worked in Godzilla King of the Monsters or Godzilla vs. Kong. So with that being said, let's get to Godzilla vs. Kong. First off, no spoilers. Just like all the other Year of the Max reviews, I'm just going to tell you my first thoughts. One thing I can respect with this movie right off is they do try to make it feel like sort of the way the Avengers movie felt when you first saw that after seeing all the solo Marvel films leading up to the Avengers movie. This sort of feels like that in a way, because they're trying to tie in the Kong Skull Island feeling into this Godzilla universe you've gotten used to, because they've only made one Kong movie in this universe, and they made two Godzilla movies in this universe. So now with Kong being in this one, it's his second movie, but Godzilla's third movie. So immediately you're seeing sort of the Skull Island feel, and the way they tie it in, even the way they're using the font on the screen saying somewhere in Skull Island, it's pretty cool how they do that. It looks like the font they used in the original Skull Island movie. So right away they're trying to make you feel like it's tying all this stuff in, and all the while dealing with some Godzilla stuff. But I tell you what, it picks up pretty quickly, doesn't waste any time, and it does a way better job with not focusing on the characters too much like they did in King of the Monsters. They do focus on the characters in this, and Millie Bobby Brown and Kyle Chandler do reprise their roles in this one. And you get to see a little bit more of Millie's acting chops rather than just seeing her play Eleven from Stranger Things again in a movie. So let's touch on what I didn't like about the movie real fast. They do focus on the human plot line, still a little too much in my opinion, and they try to make you care about all these little things that just don't matter. There's this little deaf girl that you see in the trailer, actually. She's touching Kong's finger like that. She's got an emotional connection with Kong, and they use that in the plot line and stuff like that, but even when they just start getting into the emotionality of all these characters, I just don't care. I mean, the movie's called Godzilla vs. Kong. Well, so with that being said, all the character development is just terrible. It's bad. It's got Alexander Skarsgård in it. I mean, he's a phenomenal actor, but he's just wasted in the movie. He's in the movie, but he's wasted. There's some things here and there that are plot holes, and I don't mean plot holes like the plot doesn't make sense. Just little things like how they catch Kong. This isn't spoiling anything for you at all. You see Kong in the trailer on the ship in shackles and chains. And after you see him doing all these other things in the movie and in Kong Skull Island, it's like, how are they chaining him down? Little things like that bother me in it. Between that and the character development, it's just kind of bad and silly and doesn't really make any sense. But that's really my only complaints about the film. Like I said, I was going into this movie expecting exactly what I saw in King of the Monsters, just a crazy off-the-wall film, and it definitely gave me that. So now to what I really liked about it. The monster fight scenes, phenomenal. I mean, you're truly rooting for the monsters in this movie. You pick a side pretty much right away when you're watching the movie. And it's all depending on how you feel. I'm not even going to tell you which side you're wanting to pick. It's just all depending on which way you start to lean towards. And they do a good job of filling up the movie with the two monsters, with Godzilla and with Kong. They're not teasing you and just waiting like the first Jurassic Park did or the first Godzilla movie, which those work for first films. But by the time you get to the third movie, or in this case, the fourth movie, you want to see the monsters. That's what you're going to see. Like I said, it's called Godzilla vs. Kong. And they did a good job of that. You see the monsters the entire film. And it wastes no time picking up with the action. I mean, the monster fights even start pretty quickly in the movie. And you get multiple fights too. It's not just one battle like they did in Batman vs. Superman, where they finally meet up at the end, which I love that movie, don't get me wrong. But this one, it's a Godzilla vs. Kong movie. They're fighting. And I was pretty impressed that they did have a clear winner. And Warner Brothers did say early on, there will be a winner. However, there's more to the movie and I'm not going to spoil it, but just like Batman vs. Superman, they fought each other, but then there was more to the movie. There was a greater threat. So another thing that happened in this movie that I got to talk about, and I think a lot of people are going to be talking about, is, man, you're watching a Godzilla vs. Kong movie and all of a sudden it just, I'm not going to say anything, I promise I'm not going to spoil anything, but it just takes this crazy sci-fi route. And when I say it goes sci-fi, I mean it goes fully sci-fi. I don't mean sci-fi like dinosaurs fighting each other that are giant. I'm talking like it starts to feel like a science fiction movie. At first I was just kind of like, what in the shit is going on here? But then I started thinking about it kind of like Aquaman, and the way I was going into this movie anyways, I was just like, I'm going in to watch a crazy movie. And you know what? I just started embracing it, and I had a lot of fun with it. Not gonna recommend this movie as being Oscar worthy or anything like that, but if you want to just sit down and have a blast and be like, oh yeah, oh damn, this definitely executed on all levels. I say it's totally worth watching, and if you can do it, go see it in the theater because it's really awesome on the big screen. Luckily, I have a pretty awesome screen to watch it on, but I could have even enjoyed it more in the theater. I know that. After watching it, I thought I really would have enjoyed this in the theater. So guys, honestly, I give it an A. Fully landed and executed on what it was trying to do. Very self-aware. It knew it wasn't trying to be taken too seriously. It's Godzilla vs. Kong movie at the end of the day. It would have gotten an A+ had they made me like the characters more and stuff like that. And the plot line wouldn't have been so silly. But I don't care. I enjoyed the hell out of it. So if you got HBO Max, check it out. Well, that's it, guys. Thanks for joining me for some more popcorn. Hit the like button if you enjoyed watching it. Sorry I've been a little absent. It was my birthday on Tuesday, and I've been a little distracted, if you know what I mean. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this, guys. I still got my video coming out about how I like crappy movies. But in the meantime, look for BrassReel Brothers on Facebook. Look for Bobby Williams on Facebook. You can find me on Twitter, BrassReel Bobby at BrassReel. And if you haven't done so already, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you can help us make it to the top. And as always, if life gives you lemons, make some hot, fresh popcorns.